YouTube audience once again to the arena. You guys are watching NODWIN Valorant Challenger South Asia, driven by Hyundai, and our styling partner is Philips One Blade. We have Godlike versus True Rippers today. Now, True Rippers, it's quite an important game for them because if they win this, they are guaranteed to make it to the playoffs. If they lose this, on the other hand, they will just have to hope that the other teams don't overtake them in terms of performance. For Godlike, it's not their last game yet, but it's an important one for them to win. Godlike, on the other hand, have been improving quite a lot. Split 1 was very rough for them, but lately in Split 2, their trading has improved, their post-1 positions are much better, and their default is solid. So, can the innovative True Rippers break it down for Godlike? We'll have to look.
Aryu's finally awake. He just takes off his glasses and shows, yeah guys, I'm here to play the game. I just want to finish this as soon as possible and head back home. Although, the remaining players of Godlike, and here comes Kibu. This guy has made a lot of impact as we discussed, and even Wimp. I mean, the way he has taken that sentinel role and has still fragged out on it is just insane. I would love to see some more Wimp action today. Then the final two players too. True Rippers as a team, they are superb. But Godlike, let's see what they will bring today. What maps will we have today? Because that is something I'm really excited to see and disrupt with a little, fist bump, maybe not. Never mind. Let's just start it.
You know what? I'm actually glad that Disrupt does this action because it kind of indicates what his entire playstyle is. It's actually not just it. It indicates what Disrupt and Wimp both play like. They will show you something, but they will do something completely else, which is very good for their brain games, you know. Wimp is the kind of sentinel / controller who loves to anchor a particular area a lot, but even when True Rippers are lacking information, right, he will make some preemptive rotations, which mostly end up being correct. So it's quite a statement to have over there. True Rippers have that inherent strength about making the right guesses every single time, even though situations are against them and they don't have a lot of resources to gather information. Godlike, on the other hand, while they aren't the kind of team that will bamboozle their opponents, they don't really like to brain game all that much. Even with the solid approach they have, even though it's quite straightforward, it can be very difficult to counter. And the way Godlike has become better at trading now, even if you see them coming from a mile away, it will be difficult to stop them in their tracks. That's the strength of Godlike. They can be stoic, they can be stubborn, but damn, they can be unstoppable as well. On the other hand, True Rippers are quite elusive by nature. They're quite versatile that way. So what's gonna happen when a fluid team like this goes up against an unbroken, determined team? This will certainly be a clash of not just teams, but also opposing ideologies.
Ooh, the maps then will make a lot of sense over here. So let's see, what do we see True Rippers, panning out his set because they lost against Godlike on that particular map in split number 1. But for now, Godlike, they just ban out split. They're like, yeah, we're not ready yet till now to play split. And no, alright, True Rippers, they do go in for that ascent ban. Now it is Godlike, and what pick do they have? What do they want to play over here? It is going to be the map of Pearl. Alright, now Pearl is a map where there are a lot of experiments still going on in our region. Some teams, they play the double controller, Viper and Harbor. Some like the double initiator comp a little bit more. And I've seen one team playing the double duelist too. So it is a very interesting map picked by a team Godlike and True Rippers. They go for the Lotus pick. Now we were talking about this, Cribs, that True Rippers, they have a rough idea. They know how do they want to play on Lotus. But they think it is polished enough to play against team Godlike.
Yeah, that's actually true. Lotus has been a strong point for True Rippers in Split 2. They defeated MLT Esports 14-12 on it. Then against God's Reign, they beat them 13-7. So up until now in Split 2, True Rippers have been unbeaten. For Pearl, on the other hand, True Rippers hasn't played Pearl in this split at all. They haven't played it yet. So whatever stuff they have planned from the previous split, I hope they've got some adaptations to it, because if you don't play Pearl for a very long time, and if you give Godlike enough chances to notice what your playstyle is like and counter you specifically, then it could be a problem. I hope that Godlike have done their homework, and at the same time I hope that True Rippers can change up their approach to throw Godlike off their ground.
Oh, let's see agents over here. The map of Pearl, that's what I'm very excited to see. A usual sky from both these teams, Techno and Kibo picking up the sky, and Godlike go for the double controller setup. Rexy on Viper, and you have Astro playing Harbor. Now on the other hand, if you look at True Rippers, they've picked up a Gecko. My god, True Rippers is out experimenting here. They have Jet being played by Kaizen. Wimp will still be there with the KJ. But the change over here, the the Gecko on Disrupt. The previous time we did see True Rippers picking this Gecko on split. Did not, I think it did not work out, right? We'll have to go and check that one out. But yeah, he has played Gecko, so he knows how to use that agent properly on a different map. But on split, let's see. If you do want to hit A, you just throw the wingman to clear any aim in aggression, even follow up with the dizzy if you want. If it gets destroyed, obviously if the wingman gets destroyed. And then the wingman and dizzy could be picked back up and save for the A side main execute. So there are a lot of possibilities that that True Rippers will have while attacking. But on this defensive half, let's see what the approach is going to be. Because in terms of mini-map, we have a very, very big brawl that will start outside A main. Now, flashes have been exchanged. And now Godlike are very, very about this. There was a gravity well too, so they know that the players are vulnerable, and we might see some True Rippers player pushing in. The Trailblazer to re-clear A main, where you have 3 players of True Rippers kill position. Godlike, a very important duel, and they win all of them. Zay and Astro, they get those frags, and then Caramel wraps all the way from Art. Great duels being won, although Wimp gets one. Caramel trades him out, and Godlike find themselves in a 1v3 post-peak scenario. The spike will go down. And Kaizen, has that information that Zay is somewhere inside. The remaining 2 players are going to be a mystery. Spots Kibo down. Players known. No flash. Won't be able to connect as much. And Kaizen takes the head off Caramel, but does not expect Zay to swing from that position. So Godlike, a good round. The important duels being won out A main, and that's what helps them get this round under control. First round on the board, will be able to buy up 2. That should be another fairly simple round, unless they run into some sort of a stack. Now there was double stun. That caught Astro completely off guard, and Ari was able to make the most out of it. But yeah, Godlike just phenomenal on the trade. Frags. And although Kaizen tried to bait out the peak with a fake reload, did not look in the correct direction. That's the round Godlike is played. Very simple round. Although Caramel is blind as a bat, and Aryu is able to get that frag. The players have been isolated too, and now this Phantom can swing. It gets Techno. The Spectre gets one, but then Techno trades out. Wait a minute. This round ain't over yet. You might have got Rexy in the spawn of your opponent, But how do you convert the round? Kaizen has a shorty, but no one near him. And this weapon now can be juggled. Techno will give that phantom towards Kaizen. But does Kaizen check spawn? That's my main question. The spike had already been dropped A main, so I think Godlike are trying to rally behind the spike and then maybe get it back in their control and head towards a different area. Or maybe not. Because Rex is already cleared out A. So the spike can still come out. It can be put down too. And True Rippers will have to play retake. That's what it comes down to. Although the timing is perfect for Kaizen. He gets that headshot onto Rexy, but both the players are super low. Zay, will he be able to find this individual duel? Will he be able to win it out? Has been spotted.
30 seconds
They know
left.
exactly where Zay is and now are converging on the location. Although, if these duels were isolated, Zay could have had a say in it. But no, Kaizen closes out the round and True Rippers, they win the pistol. They win a pistol round and that's a thrifty. A great thrifty, all facilitated because of the crazy flashes that were thrown outside A. Techno first with the bird and then Disrupt with the Dizzy. My god, what a round to win. What a crazy round to win. You buy into the round thinking that the Phantom will be carry forward to the next round so you can hurt Team 2 Rippers even more. But then you get challenged out A main. Then you get taken down. Then you fall off to the Phantom you bought because you were not able to create an impact with it in the round. What a round win for 2 Rippers.
And just like that, they've stolen away the momentum. True Rippers always do this, don't they? It's almost always a pattern with them where they are able to steal away the momentum after losing the pistol. And just like this, once again, Wimp is racking up all these kills. Burns them with the molly, shoots them down with the vandal. And this is a big statement. Godlike just cannot venture in like that. They didn't even throw too much utility to help set that guy up. Kibo didn't have all that many flashes, and even if he did, it doesn't really affect him. So now they have no choice but to try going towards Art, where there's a microwave setup already in place.
Aryu though takes a little bit of damage, but it's all fine because he has already tagged Zay down to little HP. The reset from Kibo will come in and away. Off angle gets another. Maybe an ace. Let's go for an ace, Wimp. You have this guy. There's the fourth one for Wimp. Looking for the final one. The Sheriff could have done the job in one bullet onto Wimp, but Astro has one better. He has a frenzy. And Techno is healing. He says, yeah, go for the ace. Although Astro will deny it. And even gets his second. Round victory. Not so much. But that's at least denying him the ace.
Yeah, I mean, it is a bit heartbreaking to see him not get the ace, but True Rippers will still get the round regardless.
Yep.
Good shot by Astro. He was able to surprise both of them. I mean, Techno was healing up Wimp, hoping to give him the ace, hoping to let him get that 5-piece. And with so many frags, he might just have been able to get the lockdown online as well. He was just 1 point away from it. Of course, he dies in the end, which does give him the lockdown anyway, but there's stylish ways of doing so. Hey, but at the very least, they didn't give too much away to Astro, right?
Yes.
Unlike Godlike, who lost their entire momentum because of that push out from True Rippers. True Rippers don't fall prey to the same tactics once more. This time though, Kaizen has everything set up for him. There's a poison cloud in the way, which won't let him do anything. But Aryu's Nebula will get him, will let him fall back at the very least, and then Techno follows up as well.
Now Kaizen not able to hit the shot, needs to throw a smoke down, but no, he is being blasted by the currents, and Caramel will take his head off. A very crucial frag to find because inside even Techno fell. So now 2 Rippers are playing this retake and there's a lockdown in play. And the spike isn't planted for B main.
Yeah, that's the problem.
This could be now difficult. Although Caramel, if he's hitting shots like that, it really won't matter. The Nano Swarm will be activated. Wimp trying to maybe get it to half. The Molly will make sure that the Wingman cannot do anything about it. Caramel, it's not, he will be taken down. But wait a minute. Disrupt gets one, gets the second one too, but yeah, that's about it. Drops Kibo to 30 HP, but Godlike, because of those entry frags, they are able to win the round.
That's true. Godlike are able to get all the frags they require. And I love that Caramel is now transitioning over to the Jet. At one point, he was a very solid Killjoy player, but his natural playstyle is so strong. His mechanics are so on point. that it would be criminal to let him play anything else other than the duelist. And he proves his value, he proves his worth. That AWP on him is able to deal with all the problems that Godlike are facing. Once again, it's a similar approach. They use the Poison Cloud along with the Cascade, but this time they also have a Trailblazer just to make sure that Kaizen can't get into any of those aggro positions. Snakebite to push him off the angle once again, and now they've got a lockdown of their own. No counter to it available because Wimp already used his own lockdown in the previous round. The only person who could probably stop this is Techno. If he gets a frag, he will then have the Seekers. But Caramel extending way ahead, and that's a nice flick on to Disrupt. Dashes back after getting a murder in cold blood.
And then there's the code to help you get the plant. Beautiful, beautiful sequence coming in from Team Godlike. But let's see if they're able to stop this True Reaper retake. They do have the numbers advantage. With the smokes down, will isolate Caramel in sorts. But backside, fight lost. Caramel though, yeah, that's it. Gets a double, and that should be able to secure the round. The player has been tagged up too. I mean, Ayu with just 31 HP left, 2 mollies on Spike. It's better to save, yeah. That should be the call for Team True Reapers. Heavily invested into the round. They are able to at least retrieve the orb back. But man, Godlike, they did not leave a corner unchecked. Their execute, they considered every corner being camped by a player, and they throw utility at their feet to make sure that they're not able to do some heroics. Great job done by them, and Godlike win their third.
Exactly. And this is what I was talking about in the pre-game segment as well. You could see Godlike's execute coming from a mile away. And True Reapers were even positioned to stop this. All of them were just outside of the B side, waiting for the lockdown to pop so that they could dash inside. But that's what Caramel does. This guy, he extended ahead of the lockdown, and nobody from True Reapers would have seen it coming. Why would they anticipate this? There's a high tide in the way, blocking off Heaven. The lockdown's about to get complete. The plant is already underway. Common sense would dictate that Caramel should guard his planter. But no, he extends way ahead and gives his team an advantage. And this time, Kaizen's extended ahead of the Poison Cloud. Rexy, wary of this push. He doesn't want to give up his life. He doesn't want to give Kaizen a chance. And now that the operator is confirmed to be over here, the rest of his team will fall back from this position and take a main instead. Oh, nice shot by Rexy. He gets the kill onto Kaizen as well. That's the AWPer down. The rest of his team doesn't have all that much to work with.
Stay down.
Caramel just dashing in like a bird. He does not care. Now Aryu, his position also has been noted on the back of this jump. Rexy takes care of Disrupt on the other part of the map, and my god, what a round.
Player standing.
All the fights won on every part of the map, and they're on the verge of converting a flawless here. Rexy gets a double, that's what I'm surprised by. He gets the opping player 2 and then one more. I mean, the players were playing disjoint in that position. And now Aryu, angle check. Nice, they do not check the angle, and Aryu is able to at least deny the flawless, but yeah, Godlike won't have a problem because right now they are sitting with a lot of money available.
Yep. Godlike have plenty of funds. Their pockets are deep, and nobody can swindle them. Even Kaizen with the AWP couldn't swindle them, man. It's so funny to see that Kaizen was holding that angle since such a long time, but Rexy is just popping some shots. He's just trying to give Kaizen a break. He's just trying to make him fall back from that position and make him reconsider his options. Crosses over using the Poison Cloud and gets the opening as well. And then the rest of the execute is so simple for Godlike. To the extent that they did not even try going in for the plant directly. They knew they didn't have the high tide yet, so they can't block off Art or Flower and Secret at the same time. They can't use that curved high tide to block every single area. So what do they do instead? They just have Caramel dash in towards Art instead and kill anyone from there. I mean, True Reapers were aware about the possibility of a push coming in from that area, but the timing is just so random that True Reapers can't do anything about it. And even if they had weapons, they probably would have struggled. Now that True Reapers,
with the flash.
Yeah, I mean the flashes probably were like an overkill, you know. Keeper didn't even didn't even need to send them in order to actually help out Caramel. But that being said, now True Reapers can actually fight back. They've got quite a lot of useful ultimates available. Thrash is back online. The Cosmic Divide should really help them with the retakes. And I want to see Disrupt pop off now. We haven't seen too many of these dizzy frags come through.
Oh, and this time he gets caught. Kaizen, he is trying to do the exact same thing again and again and hope for a different result by pushing out B-bait. And he is being killed without even a frag under his belt with that operator. So this is something that True Rippers really need to fix, and they did call a timeout just before this round. And Godlike just answer right back. Although there is a slight bit of an adjustment coming in from Team True Rippers, but Godlike is even considering it. They've already all pushed to C. The plant is completely out in the open. So you have no trouble whatsoever. Although Zay spotted down and Vim gets that frag. And are you in the backlines will still make Godlike's life very, very difficult as the players of True Rippers are flashing in. Are you? One, but then the trade. And now how you deal with the open plant? The wingman thrown in. The player baited out and the frag is there. Wingman still defusing. Caramel stops it for a second. 15 HP on Caramel. Just needs to take down Techno. Will he be able to do it? Vim has the angle, has it guarded, and the timeout of Team True Rippers, I'd say it worked out flawlessly.
I would still say that both the teams performed really well in this round. True Rippers with the flank coming in from B main definitely surprised Godlike, because this time, unlike most of the rounds before, the plant was actually in the open, which would have facilitated them if they tried to play from upper B ramp. Unlike last time where it wasn't planted for B ramp, this time they were perfectly poised. But they gave up that area because they anticipated True Rippers to flank in. So they pushed in towards the defender spawn instead. And while that's a good adjustment, that's what happens when there's Disrupt playing on the playing on the Gecko. This guy will be able to get that wingman to defuse, and then there's so many players just training your guns towards heaven. Nobody from Godlike can peek out and actually stop the defuse.
Let's see though right now. We do have all the players of Team True Rippers set up towards mid. They do not want to give either Art or B-Link control to the players of Godlike. An early control being established by them, making sure they have at least good amount of territory, and unless Godlike spend any sort of util, they're happy to fight for it. Once again, but Trailblazer down Art will at least give some information, and Caramel not hitting on the first vision cone. As soon as you are discovered you're not hit, yeah, you'll have another chance. Wimp! The dash comes.
Are you serious?
What? How do you miss that? Caramel for a good second did not have his weapon out, and Vimp is only able to connect one bullet, that to the torso.
Yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen.
30 seconds
Mechanical errors from both these players, but poor Kaysen, he is just not hitting these shots today at all. And look at the deep positioning from Godlike. With Rexy getting that frag, the B site is vacant, and now he enfolds it in his arms with the Viper's Pit. His teammates can easily come in via B-link, no problem for them at all. Techno encroaching into enemy territory will be taken down. No intruders available over here. No encroachment possible. And we might just see some BM. No! Okay, that's still fine. It's still fine because they can get the kill onto Audio regardless. But yeah, that was such a bizarre round. The whole Wimp versus Caramel fiasco, that is just absurd at best. But then after that, you see the approach changes from Godlike, and it's so refreshing to see. They went for B ramp pushes 3 rounds in a row, and now they change things up. They explore towards Art as well as double doors. Of course, they still have one player coming in from B ramps, that's gonna be Rexy, but the rest of them play on the timing. They make so much noise towards double door, and because there's no turret set up towards B, and because Kaysen's playing very passively, nobody could figure out that Rexy is already in so deep. So these switch-ups from Godlike are really throwing True Rippers off.
Once again, back to the trusty the execute. How do you deal with this now? True Rippers, they've all left the side. Kaizen still has the blaze left, but cannot deny the spike plant now. And then the Molly CET. And Godlike, they do want this B-link control. Now Wimp has a classic but no shield to his name, and now the right legs are flowing in. There's no, oh, never mind, gets one. But then Astro takes it out, and Rexy and Astro also get a few more frags. It is all down to Kaizen, and he again missed quite a few shots onto Astro. Nevertheless though, Godlike, they get that 6th round for themselves and are looking super strong in this attacking half of Pearl.
Yeah, they look really solid. They go back to the good old B ramp push, the trusty old push which has worked for them every single time now, by the way. Except maybe the second round. I mean, that we don't talk about that. Anyway, this is becoming a little too difficult for True Rippers to handle. The Cove plant is successful for Godlike every single time, and then they don't just fall back after planting. Every now and then, they push in even deeper, which is a big concern. Kaizen finally switches up his opping position. Instead of opping towards B main, he's going towards A main this time, and yet again, he fails to connect. Well, the second shot does find its way onto Astro, and that is a major player taken down. Astro's utility was the one that was helping Godlike get so deep inside enemy territory. And with him dead, there is hope of resurrection for True Rippers. Trailblazers
being exchanged.
Yeah.
But the spike is down, so True Rippers are happy to fight this position. Now Caramel expected by Disrupt. Easy frag for him. The Octo gets nothing. Great shot from Zay. And then the smoke in their face. True Rippers, they're expecting the second player too. My god. Great presence of mind from Team True Rippers. They even sent in the Seekers to make sure that the players are still positioned out A main, and that is exactly the case. And all the True Rippers, they think that the spike has already been taken away, but it isn't. And now Zay, he's expecting the... he was expecting the flank for a little bit, but as soon as he pulls out his bot, the player peeks out and
30
Kibo,
seconds left.
all alone. 1v4, all the positions have been cut off. You know that he is outside A main for Team True Rippers. Should be another round for themselves.
Boxed inside, flashed out, and Kibo just looking to stay alive over here. Hoping to keep the AWP in his hands, but he knows for a fact that he's gonna get pushed.
10 seconds
Nah,
left.
son, you can't throw the AWP away. Not
Nope,
from
not
that
happening.
position. True Rippers will take it for themselves and probably put it in the hands of Kaizen once again. And this time Kaizen finally finding some success with that operator. He was struggling towards the B main side, but on A at least, he's able to kill the spike carrier pretty early on. And the presence of mind from True Rippers is also really, really commendable. They figured out that Academy will try to come in from Art. The utility placement was perfect. And usually it's either Rexy who's lurking in, but this time Caramel takes up the responsibility because why not? He's found all the frags onto Art so far. This is the only time he did not manage to connect the first blood. So that is a rare slip up by Godlike. But True Rippers also stepping up in that matter. As soon as they get the spike down, they throw in everything they've got to keep Godlike away from that area. The Nebula dropped just to make sure they can't retrieve it. The Seekers popped just to make sure that Godlike are still positioned towards A main. Plus Wimp and his timing, it's just so funny. I mean, the other Killjoy was even aware about the possible push. They were aware about Wimp coming in or somebody else wrapping around. But the timing is just so unfortunate.
Oh, what's the adjustment? I mean, realistically, Godlike just won 6 rounds and they lost 1 round because of an operator, yeah. But once again, Kaizen has been pushed out B main. This operator hasn't worked out in that position at all till now. Although Godlike, this is again one of their mid executes where they take AR control with the help of that Trailblazer. Rexy is still sneaking outside B main. Tucks his head down so Kaizen cannot spot him. And let's see, how disciplined is Rexy? That's my question now. And is he not paranoid that someone can just walk in without giving any sound and kill him from the back? Those are my 2 questions right now from Rexy. Although the answer seems to be very simple. Yeah, he's just gambling it out entirely. And now spots the player, and once again Kaizen misses the shot.
Now,
You already see the open player, you already have that information that he will never be alone, he will never be left alone. And Godlike on the back of it, they have accelerated a little bit towards Art and A main.
Yeah, they are everywhere, dude. Rexy is still keeping the upper poised over here. And he's drawn out 3 players rotation from True Rippers, who, by the way, now are on the verge of full executing towards the A site. The art control was taken away very early on, and while Wimp tried to stall them with the nanoswarms, he wasn't able to do so. At least Ryu is able to get the spike planter killed with the spam, and now he will reposition as well so that he doesn't get punished.
30 seconds
But Caramel really wants to pick up this fight. He wants to secure this area, and he's good for it. Almost got the kill onto Wimp as well, which would have been the death of the lockdown too. But Wimp is stoic. He's so strong over here. Zay trying his level best to assist his teammates, but Rexy can't do anything. The lockdown keeps him back, and now all of them are about to peek him at the same time. True Rippers give away a lot of map control to Godlike, and they almost got bamboozled as well because of Rexy's presence towards the B site. But as soon as RU made contact, he killed the spike cat planter, and that was the undoing of Godlike. That bought enough time for the rest of Two Rippers to move inside and then collapse upon Godlike in entirety.
In theory, Godlike did everything correct. Their execute again was good, where a lot of players have been drawn away. But then they did not account for the spam frag. They just made a mistake of not checking dugout or not just throwing the cove. The cove also could have helped him a lot to make sure that the plant goes down and he does not die. That did not happen, and once again, Two Rippers, they are on the verge of equalizing this half. Now, Kaiser is still sticking around with that operator, and this time he hit it. This time he will make sure that Caramel does not survive. Although Godlike, they do not stop. They are still executing onto this B side. The Reckoning bolts are being thrown in. Disrupt is in a little bit of a trouble. The Molly is all around him. But finally, at least the Reckoning fades out. Rexy, does he get the timing right? He does. Gets the frag and makes it a 4v4 retake.
Disrupt trapped inside, but maybe Techno can break out, and he's gonna be the jailbreaker over here. Firing through. No, the snake bite gets the better of Techno, but he's done his job already. And Kazen's well enough to follow up. It's all down to Kipo, the young lad who has saved Godlike from certain defeat in many occasions before, now has to prove his worth yet again. The flashes are perfect. Fake tap in. He knows that they're not sticking it. He can hear the footsteps, and he just has to play around the cloudburst well. But Kazen is finally waking up once more. Good stuff. What a competitive game from both the sides. Godlike had some really strong win conditions, and they abided by them like glue. They stuck to their plans, and they almost always worked. But every now and then, they will go for certain experiments which won't work for them. Two Rippers, on the other hand, were surprisingly not proactive enough today. They were really just playing on the back of what Godlike were doing. They were reacting quite a lot, which is very unlike them. But I guess that's partially because the Gecko can't really do much on defense. Although, on Pearl, Gecko on attacking side can be a complete game changer. So, is it a disaster for Godlike to get only 6 rounds? Should they have gotten more knowing that the Gecko is stronger on attack? Or is that going to be enough? Is that going to be sufficient? We'll find out on the other side of this break. But before we go on that break, let me remind you, this giveaway is still live. Scan this QR code and you might just have a chance to win Philips One Blade. We'll be back with the second half in a bit.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. It's like it's real, can't play pretend. Hit multiple wings, I get it in.
Bro, fridge meat के लिए, heat के लिए नहीं. Bro, this graphics card is making my frames drop. Come with me if you want to get.
The all-new Omen 16 with advanced Tempest cooling technology, now with 5 heat pipes and 4 thermal outlets. The Omen 16 with 12th Gen Intel Core i7 processor to make you forget your frame drops.
Now that's cool.
Game on with Tempest cooling.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z, or should I say, the Gen Next. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly to it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I move fearlessly in most things, but I draw the line here. What if I Nico cut myself?
Try this.
Phillips.
Hit for my wings, I need my hands. It's like it's real, can't play pretend. Hit multiple wings, I get it in.
Welcome back to Omen Valorant Challenger South Asia. You guys are watching Godlike versus True Rippers. Up until now, Godlike are in very good form. Caramel's popping off. He's feeling himself with 14 frags. The Harbor Viper composition gets them a lot of map control, but True Rippers have a surprise agent pick. That's Disrupt. And in the first half, he wasn't able to do all that much, but we know for a fact that Gecko is theoretically much stronger on the attacking side. So maybe True Rippers can find their resurgence. There's a turret on Art which will stop their approach. And it's been taken away. Well, here we go. Planting will still be a bit difficult because of the Nano Swarm setup. They break it, and now the Wingman can do his job.
These mollies have to be positioned in a way so that the Wingman can be destroyed by these planting. But then True Rippers are also sending a player with a Wingman to make sure that the utility gets destroyed before Wingman starts to charge. That's beautiful. Although Godlike on this retake, they throw a Trailblazer and then there's a smoke. It is a fake. And Ayu, he is looking to contest the close angle with a frenzy, and then the frenzy goes burr. He gets one, but now Ayu has to get another, and he does exactly that. Backside Zay gets one too, but yeah, Techno's there out A main to make sure that True Rippers do not fall to the round. And the pistol goes the True Ripper way.
Yeah, True Rippers adjusting so well. They anticipate Godlike to come in from Art once again. And that's why there's 3 players stacked up in that area. All of them playing on the back of each other's contact. Swinging out at perfect timings to really throw off Godlike mechanically. And yeah, it was Disrupt left alone on the side, but even though he died, the rest of the players came in really well. Ayu stepped in from A main just at the nick of time to stop Godlike from encroaching any further. Great round from True Rippers, and now you start to see the true strength of the Gecko. But True Rippers have only been using A side up until now. They take Art control in previous round. This time also, they're heading towards A main. The only difference is Wimp is lurking towards B main, anticipating a push from Godlike. And while he won't find anything, True Rippers are gonna slowly and steadily take control of A main by using all of Gecko's utility and then reclaiming it too. Dizzy back in his arms, but Wimp, he's starting to make contact over here. He actually wants Rexy to fight this one. He's hoping that somebody else from Godlike will also rotate towards the B side, and that will make his job easier for the team on A. But nobody from Godlike budges. They're all just stationed towards the A side. And True Rippers realize this. They realize that Wimp is not going to be able to sell this fake. Godlike won't buy it. But just as Godlike start to move towards the B side, True Rippers are also going there. It's going to be a race.
It is definitely going to be a race, and these pistols are deadly in close range battles. And now Kaiser, he spots multiple players but then dashes away in the nick of time. Him not falling was a very crucial part of the puzzle. And then they all get the frags. Oh, sure. I for one thought that this round could get disastrous for Team True Rippers, but no. They just snatch it right back. Yes, Wimp falls, but again and again you did see Rexy try to jump peak. So this really just means 2 things. Either he's waiting for someone up close with a shorty or something like that, or he's just trying to get information about the remaining players of Team True Rippers. And they roll the dice. I think True Rippers, they just roll the dice that he is hoping to catch information before the side execute comes in. And they were correct in their gamble, I'd say. Yes, he's good for 1, but then inside, as soon as Kaiser sees 3, he dashes away, then the support arrives, and it's all in the favor of Team True Rippers for that particular round. This time though, weaker weapons, not much control on map 2. It should be a godlike round on the books. But let's see if that is the case or not, because they're defending very heavily towards their city, and Wimp even finds that opening. And to make things worse, it's on Zay. So now you'll really have to be concerned about double doors, you'll have to be concerned about Art, you'll have to be concerned about your own spawner player walking through sewers. Godlike will be thrown into a disarray, in discomfort, and let's see how do they divide their manpower and try to reinforce sites. They are gambling that no one will try to walk through their spawn, and they are throwing a reaction towards A main where they clear out A main and make sure that no one is behind them. Although Techno gets caught in a very weird timing and Kibo is able to take him down, but True Rippers on the back of it, executing, they should be able to get the plan down and then find themselves in a post-plan scenario. Oh, but the push comes in. Kibo, good for 3. And now Wimp is in a very powerful spot. Both these players CT.
30 seconds
do they check?
left.
Of course they do. Of course they check. Wimp needs to be on a roll over here. He gets the frag. He gets the job done. And then the fake smoke towards A. This is throwing Caramel. This is throwing Caramel off his game. He even activates the dash. But Ayu is nowhere near the A side. He is making a mad dash towards mid, but does he get there on
10
time?
seconds left.
10 seconds on the clock. 4 is what you need to get the plant down, and I think he will just be there in the nick of time. He does. He is able to get the spike down, but Caramel already started to rotate, and he will not be expected. Godlike, a close round indeed, but that adjustment, that late adjustment to push him in, gives them the round for themselves.
Oh, was that important?
Oh, that's a great round to find. Godlike, the first blood as soon as it came in, I thought, yeah, that's GG. Godlike might just now die while trying to over rotate. But no, they just throw in this little curveball. Two of the players, they push him in, they find a frag, Kibo finds a frag, and then everyone who was trying to push out B main, trying to control A main, pushing out of A main, gets traded out evenly, and then the final fight gets won. And that's a good round for Team Godlike, an important round for Team Godlike to win.
Yeah, they're able to make their footing in the buy round at the very least. Round deficit reduced to 1. True Ripper's really fast approach towards Art this time. They're making quite a lot of noise over here. But they fall back. I think that was quite obvious given the way they are shooting their shots. It was just meant to give Godlike a false sense of information. But the rotations have been drawn out. But this Trailblazer will confirm their beliefs. Godlike were suspicious about this being a fake, and the rotations are going back. Caramel's heading back towards the B site. Almost all of Zay's utility has been expended, so except for the nanoswarms on the actual A site, nothing else is there. And now Godlike start to get curious. The Seekers going towards A main will confirm their beliefs once more, but this thrash, this will force Godlike to fall back. It doesn't catch anyone, and it can't be retrieved either. So Godlike can still pose solid resistance on the A side, and now the rotations have also arrived. Zay catches the timing really well. There was an alarm bot placed by Wimp over there, but he's a bit too late, and one frag is there. Astro extends further, and he could have gotten a kill, but he leaves RU at just 1 HP. Survives by the skin of his teeth, and the round is back to a 3v3.
When makes it a 3v2. Although Ayu with just 1 HP is playing on the pull, so he is trying to make sure that he buys a lot of time for his team. The spike gets stabbed but not diffused because of the gravity well. And True Rippers, they're so distributed all around. There is another Gecko Molly thrown in to make sure no one can do anything about it. Caramel, he does turn, but he's not able to find the frag and then disrupt. Thrown into an array of disbelief. Where does he peek? Is it hard? Is it even? Just gets lost in the confusion, and Godlike even loses the round.
And because Astro was killed very early on, there's nothing to really help them defuse, right? Otherwise, his high tide could have cut off all the lines of sight for True Rippers. His cove could have really helped them try to at least stick the defuse to half. But Astro, he extended further, assuming that Kibo will follow up, assuming that he will throw a flash or something, and that did not come through. So that was a miscommunication moment for Godlike, which resulted in this loss.
Oh, Godlike though this time. No weapons to work with, just the upgraded pistols. You have Zay on the Sheriff, and Astro with the Frenzy. And the only thing that you need to be concerned about right now is the Bladestorm on Caramel. And they're not even making proactive plays. They are letting True Rippers come close. Maybe deep enough so that they're not checked. Zay destroys the Trailblazer, but Astro's been spotted down. He will be taken care of. The stun, not so great. But the shorty is. The shorty gets that frag onto Whip. He also will be reset, and that's the weapon to help snowball the round. You still have the blades available. But let's see if they are put to good use or not.
Oh, Godlike, this is gonna be a waterfall right out of the Farpot and Secret. And the fights are very, very convoluted. Caramel trying to bring it back. He does get one kill, but Techno is far superior at trading. It's all down to Zay. He can buy time with the nanoswarms, but never mind. He can easily get taken down by Techno. He was just hoping that nobody flanks him from the other side. That's why he was so paranoid. That's why he was looking back and checking every angle. But as soon as he tries to push forward, it's down. And True Rippers reach double digits. I feel so bad for Astro. He's losing his life in all these weird ways. 2 rounds back to back.
And that's a timeout call. A rightful timeout call, I'd say, from Team Godlike. They need to discuss how do they stop these hits. Because what Team Godlike is doing is giving away one part of the map for free. and are hoping that they are able to hold it down on site, especially that A side is not being fought for. They want to play retake there. But then they lose a player in the midst of all the control that Team True Rippers take in the mid round. And that's where True Rippers are winning those duels, getting into the side, and then they forget that there is a wingman always planting and not a player. So all the things right now for Team Godlike are falling away from them, I'd say. But yeah, True Rippers happy with how this is going.
True Rippers certainly will be happy. They only lost one round so far, and that also is because Godlike were just superior at fighting. At least on the tactical department, True Rippers are really making Godlike run around quite a lot. You see the rotations from Godlike and they are so frantic all the time. They don't have the ability to push out and gather information proactively, but they are actually rotating every single time when they think True Rippers is about to hit. So they're just playing very reactively that way. The flash is a bit late and Kipo still able to get away with one. That wasn't supposed to happen. True Rippers were supposed to get them both over there. But hey, even though it's back to a 4v4, True Rippers have a chance to recover. Zay is down, which means all his utility is expended. Caramel can't really find the frag that he needs, and this allows Wimp to sneak in towards the link area. Rexy hoping to catch him on the retreat, but Wimp is just unkillable. I don't know what kind of elusive armor he's wearing, but Rex finally wants this to... Never mind. Rex wanted to put this to an end, but he anticipated Wimp to already exit the double doors, not hang around over there. And with him creating so much distraction over here, Godlike have no defenders left on the A side except for maybe Astro. And this time he can't even get the planter killed.
Did not get the mark first, that's why. He needed to mark it out first so that it helped him in the spam, but that is not the case. The wall though will put Team True Rippers in a difficult spot when the spike gets tapped, and there is a cove to help in that situation too. But yeah, the wall, the timing is not great. Wimp throws in the turret, wants to get information, and Caramel knew that disrupt is coming from this part. But yeah, it's about time. They just evacuate this side. They know there is a lot of post-plant utility available for Team True Rippers, although no mollies were present and it was just a pull from Ayu. But for some reason, Godlike was scared enough that they did not even attempt this 3v3 retake. I think time would have also been a factor in it.
Yeah, time was a factor. Plus, they were aware that somebody from True Rippers will come in to backstab them. And while they anticipated the backstab really well, I mean, I can understand why they don't want to go for this one. They took too much time simply to just get back into its secret. The rotations were really late. And because True Rippers did a phenomenal job of fighting and distracting them towards B-Link, plus also getting the kills, Godlike were destined to lose this round. Rexy wasn't supposed to die like that. I mean, I don't know how Wimp survived for that long. Caramel doesn't usually miss those shots. He missed 2 of them onto Wimp, and even Rexy couldn't catch him on the way back. So Godlike were already way off position over there. This time, True Rippers disrespect the high tide and they go for the orb capture right away. And Caramel hits them. Finally, are you killed? That means no more smokes available. Crash used once again, but it doesn't really catch anyone. And Astro, he is going really well. Caramel also repositions. Nice flick onto the Dizzy. And in case somebody pushes him, he's got the shorty at ready. Techno can't bamboozle him once again like that.
Disrupt, look at this. He has been able to infiltrate the spawn of Team Godlike, and they for sure won't expect him here. Or do they? What they do? Great presence of mind. Great presence of mind from Team Godlike. And Disrupt, he might be able to get the plant down, or maybe even not that, because Rexy is in great position to just shut him down. Or like, they fight a round of paramount importance. They needed this round to deny the match point for Team True Rippers, and they are able to do it on the back of Caramel's operator.
Yeah, Caramel stepping up when he's desperately required. And since he will keep on repositioning himself every now and then, it will be extremely difficult for True Rippers to figure out where he is preemptively. Plus, the one person that he killed was the Astra, so no more cover for them as they go inside. That's exactly why the Thrash was used all the way into its secret. Otherwise, it isn't used like that. You use it to clear out a certain part of the map and then steer it back to safety so you can reclaim it and use it a second time. But because they don't have any smokes, they just have to detain somebody towards secret or dugout. And that too wasn't possible. And unlike last time where Godlike were laid on the rotations, this time they were perfectly placed. So the brain games from True Rippers not really affecting Godlike as much as they would hope to. They're immune to those games now. Unless True Rippers pull off something really fresh, Godlike can anticipate where the hit's coming, and they position themselves accordingly too. There was a time when Godlike was struggling to do so. And they might still struggle once again, you know, because Godlike aren't playing as aggressively as they should be. Which is quite funny, you know, none of the teams played super aggressively on their defensive side. It's quite rare to see that. Otherwise, usually you would see either the Harbor pushing right out of B main and just making sure that there's no map control available for the attackers. Disease and flashes exchanged from either side, but Godlike once again don't find any frags. Nebula used to capture not only the orb but also the Dizzy once again, but this time Wimp gets taken off. Wimp usually is the lurker, but they don't know that even Ryu is hanging around in this position.
Right there.
Would they expect a second lurk? That would be quite unexpected.
Zay is holding for anyone trying to peek through double doors, and it also gets smoked off. But even Rexy is still concerned about it. You see that Caramel has pushed up all the way B main. That means they are just singling out every part of the map one by one. And now this execute comes in. True Rippers. Yes, they are down a member, and there is a lot of Killjoy utility available, and Astra even throws the Reckoning to make sure the plant does not happen. Although the Wingman still will be able to get the job done, but with a two-man advantage that Team Godlike have, this should be a good retake. Disrupt has to get multiple frags over here, has to get multiple frags so that the retake can be denied.
Perfect.
One unchecked, but the other players just fall around him. It's all down to Ryu. He still has the gravity well available, does not even use it. Wait, there still is a chance. The gravity well now used. Is he able to win all these battles? Backed up. The second player goes out too. He also gets Lexi. The shorty won't get anything. Are you a crazy 1v4? He pulls it out and gets True Rippers to match point.
Are you serious with that one? Godlike had everything going for them. They were able to catch so many players on the retreat. Disrupt wasn't supposed to get that frag, but even after it was done, it's okay because the lockdown makes sure that Ryu has to stay away. And he used his gravity wells at the right time, just to make sure that enough time has boiled away. He isolates the frags really well. Of course, to some extent, even Godlike were complicit with this crime. They were unable to push him all at once. And that hesitation to not fight him instantly is what allows him to find all these frags single-handedly. And True Rippers want no full stops in the way. They commit the lockdown instantly. Even the Cosmic Divide is placed to make sure that Art and Flowers are cut off. Hippo's still firing away. And yeah, just to make sure he doesn't bother them anymore, the Gravity Bill is used and Kazin will follow up. What a cool shot! He's going way ahead! Does Rexy anticipate him to be right around the corner? The Trailblazer might give him the information he needs, and even though he can't get the frag, it's okay because the Viper Split that Rexy has used doesn't let him do anything.
Now they left all alone. Scored it for sure, yes.
Attackers
And True Rippers, they just close out this final round. It is all possible because Ryu was really serious. And my god, that clutch, I still cannot get over it. Yeah, the final round was even beautiful. It was a team effort and all, but it all happened because Ryu was able to pull out a clutch which he had no business winning.
Exactly, right? I mean, some of these rounds are just simply beyond belief. And Godlike, they really feel dejected right now. This was a very closely contested game from them. They were actually playing really well. And even though I pointed out that they aren't going aggressively towards the defender side of the map and they're not getting enough information, their reads were always on point. And yet, with the information, they are unable to stop True Rippers. We'll break this game down with further detail on the other side of this break, so stay tuned.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Feeling under pressure. Pressure.
not, not scanning agents that can give you the exact position or reveal a player's location. So for that reason, I think if you have a double initiator comp and you do not have information, that's when you need to be super aggressive on one side of the map.
Yeah, that's true. That being said, I would like to welcome our YouTube audience to the arena once again. You guys are watching NODWIN Valorant Challenges South Asia. True Rippers were able to win Pearl, and now we are heading on to Lotus. And yep, Godlike had some concerns. I mean, the first half from Godlike on Pearl was actually very nice, but in the second half, they weren't able to play aggressively enough to find out what True Rippers is up to, and that gave them way too much comfort room. Let's hope that the same mistakes don't get repeated again. This time, True Rippers are starting off on defense. They will have the Omen, the Raze, and the Breach for themselves. Now, it is quite weird to see Breach on Lotus, but if both the teams are picking it up, why not? It is actually a mirror composition, so they're gonna fight fire with fire. Raze and Killjoy on either side. Omen chosen instead of an Astra. I'm surprised to see no Harbor or Viper picks by any of these teams. So the Omen will have quite a lot of heavy lifting to do.
All those one-ways are very, very crucial while you're trying to defend. And especially with this double initiator comp, Sky and Breach, the fight for a rubble for both these teams is going to be very, very important. And how do you win it is the question I have, because then the defensive side always has that little edge while you're trying to run out of a choke point. So fight for a rubble to look out for, those one-way plays to be looked out for, and then the C-mount play, the flash stun, and then you peek. That is something I'm looking forward to. And all of this and more, here we go with the game number 2 of True Rippers versus Team Godlike.
Here we go indeed. True Rippers looking to finish this off quite early on. And look at the spread out from these guys. They've got the KJ Util all across the B and C side. Wimp has the alarm bot on the mouth of B, while the turret is towards the back of C ramp. Now, this turret is going to stop people from crossing over, and it will be nice to trigger your alarm bots. I'm sorry, not the alarm bots, the nano swarms on the back of it. And Godlike, instead of spreading out all that much, they are heading towards C quite quickly. They have Z standing over towards the A side just for a moment, just to make sure that True Rippers don't push out there. But as soon as the Raze and True Rippers are also playing passively, they head towards the C side quite early on. And now True Rippers have already rotated over here. There's a 4-man stack available. So if Godlike decide to enter in, it will be a trap. They throw the door open, but they don't necessarily head in towards the B side. They're just hoping to find a frag over here. They're hoping the True Rippers will overextend. The True Rippers don't give them any of that.
This guy just does not die without taking 2 with him. And now in shot being missed by Kido. That's unlike of him. Finally the Godlike find these frags and have been able to get into the side. Fairly healthy, that too. Zay and Rexy both almost 100 HP. They will finally retrieve the spike and turn it down too. But this double push coming in from CET. Do they expect Godlike? They are also heading that same direction. Zay turns off at the wrong time. Was not able to reset his aim, and now you find the frag. Within a 1v2, Rexy not aware about what is happening around him, and True Rippers, they get their first pistol round in the back.
Yeah, Godlike was somewhat one-dimensional over there. True Rippers able to easily adapt to whatever they are throwing at them. Fast rotations. There's a 3-man stack towards the C side instantly. And yeah, Wimp does most of the heavy lifting. And even though the Raze isn't able to do much, even though Kaizen dies early on, the rest of the team follows up really well. They don't even let Godlike plant. Now that's a big concern, because Godlike hit the C side quite early on. They gave True Rippers enough time to rotate. The smoke and the nano swarms held them back. And even after that, there were no adjustments from Godlike. They switched the door open, but they don't go towards B. This time though, they're heading towards the B side quite early on, and they're just making noise. They're not actually committing to this. It would be unwise to commit on the back of this smoke. There's so much KJ Util and the Judge, so they will be running into a meat grinder if they actually head in towards that B site. Zay hoping to find a pick, but he will be caught off guard instead. Kaizen set up perfectly by Wimp. He was the one who makes contact, and Kaizen just closes the distance.
Shadows traveling.
Rexy though with the Sheriff is able to find one out of disrupt. And now Caramel is flashed, will be peeked out, and Techno is the one to find that headshot. It's all down to Rexy and Astro in a 2v4, and yeah man, the weapons are not theirs. They do have some supporting utility to get into the site, so spike plant is something that they'll be eyeing for. But the spike is on the back of Astro, And Rexy is just here to maybe give some support through a link if he is able to reach there.
Player standing.
But Kaizen, wide swings, gets the headshot, gets the frag, and
30
now you
seconds
will
left.
get another one posting because Astro does not check him and charge up close. You just cannot deal with it.
Solid defense from True Rippers. But then again, we didn't expect too much from Godlike in this round either. It wasn't a buy round for them. And Godlike aren't the kind of team to force anyway. But hey, at least they make sure that they are trying to find
30
out as
seconds
much as
left.
possible about the default
30
of True
seconds
Rippers
left.
as early as they can. For now, they've discovered that Wimp places his utility
Time for a
splits
field
on
test.
B and C. He doesn't put all his eggs in one basket, doesn't put all his nanoswarms on one site. What do they do with that information? Because this time Wimp hasn't placed any of his util. Just one
Blinded.
towards the mouth of A, and that's a nanoswarm. And that too is so well anticipated. They know that Godlike will have better weaponry, so they would like to take longer range fights towards this A site.
Because there is a judge up tree. You cannot go in without spending some utility. And they do throw the Trailblazer out. The Molly is there to help Techno survive. It is his own teammates Molly and then a one-way down door. And Kaizen is taking a lot of space, and even Disrupt is there to help him out. So True Rippers exactly know what's going on. This is either a A or a B hit depending upon how do they hit the door. Then Rexy, he is able to find a crucial frag onto him. Although the judge will get the job done on one, but then Kibo trails it out. The B side open for business. All the players falling left and right. And the pieces have to be picked up by either Kaizen or Disrupt. Disrupt, good for one. Kibo stops the plant. The stun is good. 2 flashes too. This is again a very fast pivot towards this C side and they have time. They will be able to run it
30
down
seconds
towards
left.
the C side. But both
Last
Kaizen and
player
Disrupt have been able to
standing.
upgrade weapons and Zay will just take the head out of
Spike
Kaizen
planted.
and put Disrupt in a 1v2.
Godlike were on a marathon this round. As soon as they figured out that the judge towards the A door and there's nanoswarms on one ways as well, they hit towards the B side instantly, kick the door down, and they try to plant. When Disrupt stops them, they head towards the C side. So Godlike really elusive in this round, really ready to adapt quite a lot.
There is
But
a
now that
flash.
it's a 1v2, Disrupt will be double peaked. They both just turtle on towards the halls region. They can cover all the angles from there, and just like that, Godlike are able to win their buy round. Really making True Rippers sweat it out. But then again, I can say the same for Godlike as well. You know, the first plan was thrown out of the window as soon as they made contact towards that judge, and as soon as the door was put up with that much resistance, as soon as there's a one-way and nanoswarms placed over there, Godlike instantly throw their plans out of the window, and they don't mind adapting,
Peaks now.
even though it was a bit chaotic.
Let's see once again. Wimp finding information out C long, and he will spot at least 2 and 3 players. Does he get one though is the main question. The flash is good, and Wimp, the jumping will confirm presence, and the rotations will be drawn out. You only have Ayu try to come in and support with the smoke and then the paranoia too if required. And Godlike are happy to maybe wait it out, or maybe not. There is a judge up close, so you need to be careful, Godlike. And they do not check the corner, and this could be a bloodbath. It is.
No way.
Ayu with the judge gets 2. Even maybe catches the player reloading. No.
Turret's destroyed.
Kibo, he sneaks a frag and even gets the second one onto Wimp. So Godlike, yes, they do fall prey to the judge, but at least they keep it competitive in a 3v3 retake scenario if the spike goes down.
Hey, Zay still has the turret active, and as soon as it breaks, they realize that True Rippers are on the flank. So instead of planting, they push all out of halls, straight into the waiting arms of Disrupt. They need to double peek him somehow, and Disrupt does his job really well. Balls down Zay also to half HP. And now the rest of the players are unknown. Zay knows that there's at least one player coming in from the back lines, but does he know that both of them are playing together? It would be wise to assume
left.
so. Godlike always ready to switch things up, always ready to head elsewhere as soon as the first sign of trouble is shown. But now with only 20 seconds left, he's gonna have to race them to the A site. Godlike on marathons every single round.
Spikes down.
Bring it down to the wire. And they will now have to be extremely careful. Turret to mark entry towards the main region, the stairs. Trailblazer dropping downwards gives him the false sense of information that somebody's already moving in. Oh, the boombot shows him where they are. He has to just play ring around the rosies now. Somehow isolate the fights, and the tap is wonderful. Almost had it in the bag.
Almost is the key word over here. And True Rippers, they fight it out, they brawl it out and are able to get the round victory for themselves. I mean, the pivotal frag of Disrupt, the second frag is where the round completely went in True Ripper's favor. He shouldn't have been allowed to get the second one there. Plus, even now, you're not being checked. The Trailblazer, a little bit shabby, but you wouldn't check every corner of the smoke now, will you? Disrupt almost also had the spray transfer onto Zay, but Zay did a great job isolating this duel over here, but was not essentially able to close out the round. And Team True Rippers, they get their third, put Godlike on sort of an eco round where Zay has purchased in for a hero bundle.
Oh, that could have been a disaster. Aryu narrowly escapes death. The stun and the nade could have very easily taken his life along with the follow-up, but this time Godlike are actually going in for a crunch. They show heavy presence towards B. They force out the rotations from True Rippers even through that rotating door and then instantly pivot back to A. True Rippers don't have any players positioned over here, so they can easily race them to the site. They use a lockdown, which is going to keep True Rippers even further away, but I kind of feel like this was unnecessary.
Right there.
Now look at what True Rippers have for the retake. Showstopper and a Rolling Thunder. I mean, and with the weaker weapons that the players of Team Godlike have, this retake is going to be very, very interesting to see. Now, Kaizen won't find anyone on site. The Rolling Thunder invested towards True, but towards Tree, but there's a counter Rolling Thunder. Showstopper, nothing. Astro blinded, information given with a frag. Oh, it comes in his way. Are you with the judge is able to get one, but Zay on the longer arm will clean up shop. And Godlike, they just play with their food. They just play around with True Rippers and are able to get themselves the second one.
I keep saying it and I'm gonna say it once more. The post plants from Godlike have become so much better than they were in Split 1. You could see the positioning from Astro, right? As soon as he TP'd away, you could tell that nobody from Godlike wants to play on the site because they expect Disrupt to use that Rolling Thunder. And yes, Disrupt used it. The only person who probably got hit by it, I'm not even sure if he actually was Rexy. And that's because Rexy is the only one playing towards Tree. He uses his Rolling Thunder in return. Probably not necessary, but he uses it for safe measure. And they saw exactly what True Rippers were about to do and they avoided that area like the plague. They could think a step ahead. They could tell what True Rippers would be up to. And they positioned themselves just to make sure they don't get caught in the flurry of ultimates. This time, once again, Godlike start off on the C side, but will they end up over here? That's yet to be seen. Aizen tanking the Aftershock, hoping to surprise somebody, but the first bit of Aftershock connecting gives away the sound key of his position, and the spam kills him.
And then instantly moving towards his B side. Now the smoke is a little bit difficult to clear, but yeah, Caramel disciplined enough to make sure he clears every corner. Aryu's position noted. Astro will get that frag. And this should be a Godlike round. This should be where Godlike equalize and maybe even True Ripper call for a timeout. Because 2 rounds back to back, something has to be fixed.
Make it 3 now. This whole map feels like a chase now, doesn't it? True Rippers always aggressing out of either C long or A long, just denying map control to Godlike. And Godlike don't mind that. You know, as soon as True Rippers are showing presence towards a certain part of the map, Godlike avoid it, they head elsewhere. And after making a lot of noise and fighting towards that area, they pivot very quickly. We've seen it from every single round that Godlike have shown us so far.
Disrupt almost getting the second too. He got that headshot onto Zay. So yeah, it won't matter a lot. Godlike, they are also good in terms of money. They have 5,900 on Zay, 4,900 on Rexy. Even 6,500 on one of these players. So money is not the concern right now for Team Godlike. But what is the response from Team True Ripper? That's my question. How do you adjust to these plays? Again and again, Godlike are showing presence out C mount. And whenever there is an A hit, it is always a pivot towards the B side. So they've only planted A once when they had those ultimates ready. But after that, it has been either B or C.
Nice one from Caramel. Usually, Godlike try to avoid fighting with True Rippers early on and they escape, but this time Kaizen challenges them openly. Both Caramel and Kaizen popping off. And after a frag is exchanged on either side, Rexy has already worked his way up towards the entrance of A. Wimp is reading this really well though. He's ready to pop the lockdown as soon as Godlike starts to enter the site. And this will force Godlike to move away once more. But this time, do they pivot towards the B side, or do they just hit A after waiting for a bit? Oh, now that Wimp is dead, the options are quite easy. They will head to the A side. They don't pivot back. One of those rare rounds where Godlike don't fall back after showing early presence.
They get the side too, and True Rippers for retake. No ultimates available except for from the shadows, and it really does not do a lot of help while trying to get back into a side. Now, Caramel, all these players in tree will be thrown in with a paranoia, and the flash is good too. Kaizen denies the showstopper, but Kibo's position known and has to be fighting out. The aftershock to keep the players at bay. Ayu gets another frag. Wait a minute. The aftershock will displace the players but not get the job done. And now it's not planted. Although Rexy, because Ayu did not tuck in, is able to find that frag. It's already half. Disrupt gets the frag. Does he have enough time? He sneaks in the defuse. Two Rippers. A 4v3 retake. A showstopper available. And even after that, they're able to win the round.
Sheesh, that was a bit too close, man. Godlike Esports were set up really well for this one. They knew that they can play towards tree this time, unlike last time where they just abandoned the site entirely and played from the B-Link region. They tried to do something similar, but Audu locks them out with this smoke. Rexy doing really well to boil it down to a 1v1, but the lack of a showstopper from Caramel was what turned the whole game around. If Caramel was able to connect that showstopper, this whole game would have been different, and Godlike, they would have been ahead of True Rippers. But hey, at least Godlike, by virtue of winning so many rounds in a row, have built up quite some money. So they can continue buying once again. Although Aryu with the judge has been a massive problem for them at every single step of the way. Trailblazer to make sure no judges are present over there, and sure, they avoid the judges towards tree, but he's holding a very cheeky angle. I'm assuming what he's gonna do is wait for someone to push the smoke. And Godlike have done it in the past. They kick the door down, they try to go towards B-Link as well, while at the same time leaving Kibo towards A tree. So they have both the options open in case True Rippers try to deny the plant somehow.
Although the Seekers have been invested very early on, and the Aftershock will push away the planter. So no plant till now, but once again Wimp falls. These early frags are not going the way of Team 2. Rippers Kaizen very low, and then he'll also be taken care of. Kibo gets the flag onto rotating Techno. Yeah, player standing. Now you won't be able to have a say in the round. This is Team Godlike.
Godlike are just playing with their food. Every now and then, True Rippers will play aggro towards these areas to figure out where Godlike is headed early on. But even with that early information, it's rendered useless. Their strats are not being put to proper use because Godlike themselves change up their plans so late into the round. True Rippers have no time to adjust. And I don't think even Godlike are fully committed to the idea of hitting one of these sites early on, right? They keep their options open. They do whatever it takes to make sure that they don't get cornered in, and that's the only plan they want to reinforce.
Let's see the adjustment for Team True Rippers now. Twice they fell to this A execute sort of thing being thrown in from Godlike, and the last second they just run to B, and they are able to get the spike down and even win the round on the back of it. Twice is the number that they fell for it. How do you adjust around it? Because Wimp again and again, the duels he's taking are not completely unfair. He's just challenging from a very common angle, and it is being constantly watched by Team Godlike, so they are able to always eliminate him and eliminate that threat or eliminate that KJ utility, which would be very difficult to clear while you're trying to get into a site. So this will be an eco round for Team True Rippers, where they have made a call to stack C or maybe even push it, but won't matter because the players of Godlike are running down the A side.
Yeah. Meanwhile, True Rippers are running down C. With just their pistols to work with, True Rippers won't be able to do all that much against Godlike, especially when they don't even pick up these fights. Yes, the guiding light confirms the presence of at least some Godlike players over here, but this will now be a race to see if Godlike can get into the A side before True Rippers can complete the backstab. Luckily, Ekno isn't discovered over here, so he can maybe still hold on, but I guess I cursed him.
Turret down.
And now True Rippers, they all arrive. Although look at this adjustment, they're all taking CT. So Godlike, they have a fair idea of what is about to hit them. But Ayu is able to get that frag, and now Disrupt has the Rolling Thunder too. True Rippers, they have one rifle and they invest the Rolling Thunder on the back of it. The counter Rolling Thunder is available for XE too. He peeks and gets one. Although a risky challenge, but he is being rewarded for it. High risk, high reward. And Rexy is able to find two. No more rifles available to upgrade. The Sheriff won't do anything, although Wimp is able to get one in a 1v2. 14 HP left. A lot of breach flashes available too. So yeah, they will just bully their way out of the round. And True Rippers will lose the lead.
Player standing.
Uh-oh. This is way closer than it's supposed to be. Yeah, he doesn't have the time, but I'm pretty sure the True Rippers will be happy with the outcome of this round. Hey, 4 frags? I don't think you could have asked for a better eco round, and they invested practically nothing, just a couple of shorties. They didn't even upgrade to sheriffs or whatever. So this is a damn good eco round from True Rippers. Godlike are able to keep their Rolling Thunder available. That's the crucial part. I'm happy that Rexy doesn't use it right away. Because if that also was baited out, then this would definitely be a massive win in the books of True Rippers. But you could see the differences in philosophies of both these teams, right? Up until now, whenever True Rippers are on attacking side in their previous matches, they showcase presence towards all sides of the map. Unlike Godlike, who showcase presence towards only one part and then quickly pivot somewhere else. Godlike are playing more like a unit stuck together. Meanwhile, True Rippers have the tendency to spread out quite a lot on their attacking side.
And once again, this C-side cannot be defended. A lot of players just jumping in, a lot of utility being thrown in, and Wimp falls again. He needs to, if he's falling back, he needs to fall back, or if he wants to fight, he has to get one. But he's not doing either of these things, and he is being caught in a moment where he does not know what just happened to him.
Oh, but this is a good crunch coming in. They clear out the main region, but they don't know where Rexy is. He tries to wide swing. Time Techno finally trades him out. Kibo there to help out. No, that wasn't supposed to happen. Animal, not aware, but at least ASTER takes them by surprise. Now what does Arya do? Left in a 1v3. ASTER pushing him all the way in. Great stuff from Godlike. Their aggression really is unparalleled.
And no money once again for True Rippers to work with. Yeah, I mean, you have a showstopper and you will have a couple of sheriffs left, but this should be a Godlike round on the books. Oh, they do not clear out. Rexy, Wimp falls early on, and even though True Rippers are able to get a couple of frags here and there, it is not enough to deter the players of Team Godlike from just closing out the round. So True Rippers really need to have an answer back. They've been falling on the C side now too. They will fight for rubble, they will have all the flashes lined up, they will have the nade available too to make sure that they are able to do some chip damage, but none of these things happen. And now there's a smoke that they threw themselves in their face, and they're playing anti-flash around it. The flash though will still be bombed and they do not check. They run into a meat grinder, and Godlike are happy to enjoy the newly fresh cooked chicken.
That wasn't even any decipherable piece of meat, you know. That is just Swiss cheese. These players got perforated really hard over there. But Godlike once again happy to take whatever they get. True Rippers are pulling off these eco pushes every now and then, and they've seldom found success. And Godlike also keep their options open, you know. They don't have a set plan right from the beginning of the round. The only thing they plan out is where they want to take control immediately. But after that, all the rotations they do are very, very fluid. So Disrupt doesn't even get to... He doesn't even get to come close to the site. But Wimp lands a nice shot. Any more eco damage possible? Nah, never mind. Godlike keep it clean. And now in this final round of the half, True Rippers will finally have a bye, but Godlike have so many ultimates.
Exactly. It is a 7-4 half till now, but Godlike have that advantage running into this round. Although if Disrupt is able to find a couple of frags or maybe even an orb, the Rolling Thunder will be online. Wimp, if he's able to get one, the lockdown will be there too. But Godlike have all these ultimates set ready, and even Zay, if he gets that A-main orb, that lockdown is available. Let's go for the throat. So the ulti eco is also favoring Team Godlike. Let's see if they're able to finally hit the shots and are able to close the round or not. Again, early paranoia, early flashes, trying to deter, trying to force Godlike to move away from that position. That is exactly what happens. The Godlike, yet again, their call is just phenomenal. They are running towards that B side where only an alarm bot stands in their way.
Yeah, but I think they will realize a bit too late. True Rippers have already used the Trailblazer to its A as well as physically peeking out of C. And now that they figured out that Godlike is actually headed into the B side, they threw in all the utility possible. Disrupt uses the fault line to keep Godlike stationed over there. But little do they know that Godlike, like always, are not committing. And I think after 12 whole rounds, they should have figured this one out. In comes the Rolling Thunder. Down go the players, and Kazin, with a wonderful showstopper, should have been able to get at least a couple, but he fails. That's not a problem. Techno's still playing very passively. He's just hoping to catch someone overextending. Not even afraid of the lockdown. They try to get this plant down very, very quickly. The aftershock doesn't catch the planter. It doesn't even harm Astro. So True Rippers, while they don't have a man advantage, at least now know that Godlike are going to push them further on, and they expect this. Still, they can't do anything. Keeper successful with the frags. Disrupt very afraid to peek out, but at least he's offered a 1v1, and he's balled it back down to a 3v3. Wimp checking the close corners. This crossfire between him and Rexy has to be supreme. It has to be astound, and it is. Disrupt left to his own devices. 1 point away from a Rolling Thunder, but they won't even offer him that. Godlike take a convincing lead in the first half.
That's a good round to find for team Godlike, as we expected though. So the flurry of rounds, there was a 4-all scoreline. Or I think even Godlike at one point was in deficit. A 3-4 run is from where this all started. And 5 rounds back to back for team Godlike. And now they seem to be the drivers. See, 8-4 is where we are at right now. And this may very well be a map number 3. Although we still cannot forget that True Rippers are yet to play on their attacking half, where they feel a lot more comfortable than while trying to defend. Plus, this map even favors the attacking side. But isn't 8-4, isn't just 4 rounds a little bit too less? We'll have to find that out.
I think so. Yeah, I think so too. So we'll see whether we get a map 3 or not. We'll catch you on the other side of this break.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Bro, fridge meat के लिए, heat के लिए नहीं. Bro, this graphics card is making my frames drop. Come with me if you want to get.
The all-new Omen 16 with advanced Tempest cooling technology, now with 5 heat pipes and 4 thermal outlets. The Omen 16 with 12th Gen Intel Core i7 processor to make you forget your frame drops.
Now that's cool.
Game on with Tempest cooling.
Presenting Hyundai i20 N-Line. It's time to play.
Yes, I'm a Gen Z. Or should I say, the Gen Next. And I don't let fear hold me back from doing anything. I choose to move fearlessly through it all.
Hey buddy, we need you to trim your beard for this next scene.
What? Okay, fine, I'll admit it. I move fearlessly in most things, but I draw the line here. What if I Nico cut myself?
Try this.
Phillips.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the bench, I get it in.
Welcome back to Omen Valorant Challenges South Asia, driven by you and I and our styling partners Philips OneBlade. Godlike have quite a nice lead in this map. It's 8-4 in their favor. The attacking side was really quite strong. I mean, Godlike would start off in one of the parts of the map, but they would never commit. They would make True Rippers question their decisions, and when True Rippers are at their most vulnerable, Godlike will pivot and surprise the hell out of them. Which is why they've been able to muster up a 4-round lead. But let's see if they can hold on to it now that True Rippers are on the attacking side.
A flash towards C. There will be a response thrown in from Godlike. They are slowly and steadily taking this area control. And Chemo with the dog will make sure that the presence is noted. The stun though is very good. Will push both the players away, and even Caramel takes some parting damage. And the flash is perfect too. Chemo cannot escape, and Caramel does, but that leaves A side completely open. Although now they are pulling a page out of Godlike's book. They run towards this B side. Are you?
Wow,
Even be
okay.
good because they just comes in with the frenzy. Zay puts a stop to Kaiser's more aggression. But look at what has happened after the dust has settled. It is a 2v4 retake where Godlike, they are heavily in a disadvantageous spot.
Hey, at least they catch out the rotating player. At least they catch out Wimp, who was on a lurk. That reduces the number of problems they have to deal with. But True Rippers are very well positioned. The crossfire towards the bottom of B ramp, it's amazing. Even Caramel's late won't be able to do anything. Oh, never mind. He can't even clear out the first contact. So True Rippers convincingly get the pistol. They
Was a
must
very
hold on to
important
this
round.
lead though.
It was a very important round for the True Rippers to win. Because now, I mean, if everything goes well, this round should be theirs too. And Godlike will be left with a two round lead. And look at the investment. True Rippers are hoping for the round win, and they are making themselves ready for the follow-up round. Disrupt has invested into a Vandal. You have a couple of Bulldogs where Techno has just put in a frenzy to use. So Techno will be able to buy in if they're able to win the round into the next round a rifle. And then they will be really confident enough to play that particular round too. So now True Rippers, they will execute into the C side. Fairly open. I mean, there is just Astro on side with a little bit of support from Rexy, but he hasn't even thrown a smoke yet. He had one smoke which got used out the main. Kaizen finds the opening onto Rexy. They had already taken a note that there was the Omen present. So Astro's position is also known, and they also just opened the door to throw in some extra paranoidness, if that's the word, in the minds of Team Godlike. And that won't be even needed because Wimp is also cleaning up shop.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that's a very unfortunate timing. At least he's able to burst one down. Wimp was already pretty low, so yeah. Nice right click onto him. But then again, look at how aggressively True Rippers are playing. Even after they get the plant down, they just don't want to play from the side. They want to play all the way ahead of it. Not even let Godlike close to the site.
Techno just flashed his own teammate, but it did not even matter because there was a triple P. Hey, great stuff. Great stuff from True Rippers. And it's all down to Zay, who yes was able to save a Bulldog and will be able to get one. The round, I don't think so. The round is coming in favor of Godlike anytime soon. And Kaizen, with just the trusty Spectre, runs Zay down, and True Rippers are able to find the 6. And they also save all the important rifles into this round. So now let's look at the buy. Techno goes in with just a stinger. Alright. So they want to bonus it out. They do not want to force a lot of things. It is just Kaizen who has taken the Vandal. And Wimp has a Bulldog to work with. Alright. Let's see if this works out for them or not. 6-8 the score line. There are 2 rifles available to snowball the round. And even Techno in the last moment buys a Bulldog. All 5 rifles are available for True Rippers, and let's see how do they use it. Early push out C mount. That's what Team Godlike have responded with. And A side is the side of choice for Team True Rippers. Now shots are being exchanged. Kaizen, he is trying to find a lucky headshot through the smoke onto Zay, but that's not the case. They do open the doors too. So it is, this A side is being left completely onto Zay, and they are willing to play a retake on it. There are some mollies to maybe deny the plant, but one of them just get destroyed. So True Rippers, they overrun the side. They find themselves in a 5v5 post-plant situation, and let's see if they're able to do something or not. Zay finds the first, but Techno with the trade.
Nice timing. This Paranoia should be able to clear out the crossfires, but the rest of the players of Godlike need to be in position for it to work. Oh, there's a counter flash. There goes your plan, but hey, Techno extending further, gives up his life. This might just give Godlike an edge unless Disrupt has something to say. And he has a lot to say. He has a lot to even throw at them. The whole ultimate invested, and True Rippers are able to get this round again.
Oh, this is the reason they picked this map of Lotus. Their attacking rounds are looking so very confident. Although, Godlike, for a second I thought these trades, as soon as they came in, Godlike should have an answer back, but no. Disrupt. As soon as he gets that frag, he just invests the Rolling Thunder, and all the players fall down one by one. Great round, a great time to use the ultimate too. And True Rippers, 7-8 lead. Let's see if they're able to equalize the scoreline in this round, which they should on paper.
Okay, so they've pushed back Rexy. The Marshal won't get anything done. And as the players start to rotate out, Wimp is supposed to catch them. But he sees too many and he's like, nope, I'm out of there. Let's just continue hitting C where Rexy's the only defender. And he's been pushed back by the Paranoia. The adjustment of the Paranoia is also very good. He hears the footsteps and he figures out the general direction. Oh, the boom bot blows up in his face, so he can't do much now. And Wimp, what he failed to do towards A main, he's now doing towards the bottom of C.
And Ayu, he also clears out Rexy, so no threats available for Godlike. Throw against the players of team True Rippers. Finally they deal with the player who was just hurting them a lot. And now Caramel, left all alone, gets nothing, and True Rippers 4 rifles saved into the round, 8 all the pressure onto the players of team Godlike.
Yeah, they really will be feeling the pressure now. I think this would be a good time to also take a tactical timeout. Do they call it? Usually teams call a timeout if they lose like 4 rounds in a row. They need to figure out something. And Wimp's presence alone just keeps Godlike away, you know? Godlike was spotted just trying to rotate away from the A side. They wrongly stacked it, which is fine. They don't have too much to gamble on. But Wimp's presence alone gives True Rippers all the info they need. Which is exactly why you see them pushing out into deep C halls as well, you know? Now this time, there's a nice crunch setup from Godlike. The door opened, and they all swing out. But surprisingly, only Kaizen dies. This could have been much more disastrous for True Rippers. And since they've seen so much presence, they're gonna highway it towards the A side. It's all up to Zay over here. And he's playing in a very cheeky angle. He's just hoping they don't press the switch. As long as they go directly into the side, he should be fine. But the Seeker... Oh wait, the Seekers don't reveal his position. They can still make impact.
Although now the position has been given away, the flash, and now the peak comes in too. Although True Rippers have also lost a player on side, and now Caramel with a showstopper, sees a couple of players, lands no shot.
What?
And True Rippers get all the frags. How?
Oh my god.
How? We did not catch it on camera, but True Rippers, every player finds their one, and they are able to win the 9.
Okay, my arms are good. We can go.
Okay, now that's a convenient way to win the round, isn't it? Just kill your opponents. Godlike did everything correctly, you know? I mean, even though Zay was trapped over there, I thought the Seekers wouldn't spot him instantly, but it went the other way around, which gave away his position and he was immediately countered. Still not the end of the world for Godlike. They had everything they needed to make the retake work. The showstopper somehow doesn't find anything. And then True Rippers find all the frags? Like, oh, come on. I mean, Godlike didn't even make any mistakes on paper. Their setup was decent. It wasn't great, but it was still decent. The backup arrived just in time, and it could have prevented the spike plant as well. But what do you know? Why do you need that plant when you can just shoot your way to a win? 5 rounds in a row for True Rippers, and now Godlike really start to feel the heat.
Oh, it is a timeout called, but how do you correct individual brilliance? Because strategically, Godlike did everything correct in the previous round. They crunch C-mount, they get that opening duel, even Zay is not spotted in the very first few seconds. But then all the battles just flow the True Ripper way. And once again, Godlike just down in the dump. I mean, you have a lockdown to work with, yeah, but 3 Sheriffs, a Spectre, and a Stinger on a map this big? I really don't see a way how Godlike can win this round.
Yeah, precisely. Plus, even if they use the lockdown, Wimp has one of his own to throw it right back at them. Hey, at least Godlike are playing proactively. They crunched C-mount in the previous round with both C-main as well as the door presence. And this time it's a heavy stack towards the B side. Unfortunately, True Rippers are not going there at all. And don't get me wrong, True Rippers are aware about a potential flank. They're also aware about a potential stack. That's why they're taking their sweet time. They make contact, they creep up towards the mouth of A. And as soon as the first player goes in, everybody dumps their util at the same time. So these contact plays really make it difficult for Godlike to figure out where TrueRippers is coming preemptively. And Disrupt with this power position once again. He's found so many kills from that drop area, it's not even funny anymore.
And that's another Rolling Thunder in 6 rounds. That's the second one that we're seeing right now. And are you? The counter stun not there, and Kibo finds 2. Wait a minute, this round is still not over. The paranoia is beautiful. It won't completely throw Disrupt off from this particular angle. The Rolling Thunder thrown in. Buys more time. It just buys more time. The flashes to throw Disrupt off from this angle. They still check him out. That's another frag. The mollies are there. Wimp is also present. Gets a couple, and there's not enough time left. That's the round. And even BM's Rexy in the end was not able to get that frag. But TrueRippers happy enough to win the round.
Oh my god, now I'm really starting to feel bad for Godlike, you know? I mean, they found so many kills, they found the man advantage. Yes, they don't have the guns, but Disrupt is so annoying in that position, man. Like, I would be genuinely frustrated if I was in Godlike's shoes.
Right there.
He's throwing aftershocks, fault lines, flashes. Kibo finds a double, but it's still not enough to facilitate Godlike from getting into the site. And then in the end, Wimp is just able to BM them, adding insult to injury. At least Caramel starts off this round on a good note. With Wimp dead, that's the lurker out of the equation. And now TrueRippers won't have anything to protect them from these flanks if Godlike play aggro enough and cut them off.
Now there is a lockdown available for the C side, and Rexy has the stun ready. So there really won't be much about what he can do, but the stopper does a very good job in clearing out the player. The lockdown won't be destroyed, and it will retain a lot of players. Finally, it gets taken care of. The flash to make sure the players cannot push through, and there is a smoke in their way too. So TrueRippers, they get the site, they might even get the plant, but how do they stop this retake? The C-first, the CT position compromised too. Again, individual brilliance is what you need.
One enemy remaining.
Godlike, they are taking care of players on every front, and it's all down to RU. Last time he pulled out a 1v3, but the spike is not planted for him this time around. Gets one, which is the weapon, gets another, but Astro will just take it.
Finally.
And TrueRippers, yes, they do lose the round, but look at the damage that they've done to Godlike.
Yeah, I mean, Godlike had to throw in everything into this. As soon as they killed Wimp, they realized, yeah, that's the lurker. If he's present towards A, the rest of the team will be going towards C. So they plant the lockdown. But do TrueRippers care? No, they do not. They pushed right into the waiting arms of Godlike, fully anticipating that fight. And they were prepared to brawl their way out. TrueRippers always, when they plant towards the C site, have a tendency to push out C halls, and Godlike saw it coming. That's exactly why they didn't offer them fights over there. Godlike instead was coming in via waterfall. And TrueRippers were forced to plant in a position very deep inside, so they can't even take C Mound again. That's how Godlike get their first round, but is that gonna be enough? This time the Rolling Thunder is perfect, but Caramel himself gets stunned, and that backfired on Godlike in a way that nobody saw coming.
And now they have tree, although there is a very good smoke that has been thrown in for Kibo.
You should run.
And no Trailblazer available to clear him out of the smoke. Flash, beautiful, but he gets no one. Techno turned in time. He takes care of Kibo. And once again, Godlike locked out of the side. The numbers are not in their favor. It seems to be another TrueRipper round.
I'm only wondering what would happen if Caramel wasn't stunned by his own teammate's ultimate. That would have been a game changer. But now Godlike have to play with the cards that they have been handed. And they just simply can't get out. Dropping in from rope, dropping in from the right inside area. They need to kill Aryu somehow, and they're able to get the frags, but Disrupt is just one annoying man. And I've said it in the past that if Disrupt is able to get towards that drop area, he will hold Godlike back. But this time he wasn't even in the power position, and yet he's able to create so much impact. I guess the conclusion from this is you can't leave Disrupt alive. He is just too good in these post plants.
And he's one away from Rolling Thunder.
Again,
He
it would be
just
like,
used
what?
it.
Yeah, he used it like some 2-3 rounds ago. Wouldn't this be his third Rolling Thunder in the round in the half?
It is. It is.
Damn, dude, that is too much.
He just popped off on the second half and said, yeah, guys, you know what? I get it. You have an off day. Let me just control everything. Although Wimp is having an off day, or maybe an off map because he was the MVP in the previous game. He has been having an off map. While defending, he was being taken down. While attacking, he's being one tapped. All the correct timings have been found by the players of Team Godlike to at least punish him, one of the players on the squad. And now they recover a rifle on the back of it and even have a showstopper available for Caramel. Now Kibo also has a stinger, so all of these things add up. And maybe Godlike still have a chance to win this round.
Yeah, they definitely have a chance. Caramel is the danger man over here. The guy with the rifle and the big ultimate. If somehow he dies, then True Rippers look far more poised to win this. Ooh, look at this. Fake smoke towards A. Does that draw out rotations? Yes, it does. But while Kibo is falling back towards the A side, he uses the guiding light towards B. And this should give him the information he needs. True Rippers falling back because they anticipate Godlike to read this are heading back towards the A side. It's a double fake. Will it work
30
though?
seconds left.
The door being opened will trigger rotations and Godlike might not be able to get there in time. Zay has to do everything he can to buy some space and some time, but he gets hit in the face with that rolling thunder and he can't even make it back to safety.
Spike planted.
And then with Techno's rifle, huh? That's unfortunate. And now Caramel has to activate if they want to have a say in the round. The Sheriff does not find anything. Although Caramel finds one. Disrupt. Every time this guy in this dugout position is always good for one. And then the movement from Kaizen to just bewilder the players of Team Godlike. The flash, good, but Astro is still able to get one. But then Kaizen from behind gets both the frags. And True Rippers, 8-4 half, yeah? They just lose one round in the second half.
Exactly, dude. This A side is being used like bread and butter by True Rippers. Every time they get the plant down over here, it's impossible to uproot them from their positions. They are just entrenched so deep inside. I mean, the one round that Godlike were able to win was also when True Rippers planted on C. So I guess they know what works for them and what doesn't, right? And because True Rippers have been making this A-side hits work so often, they're gonna go all in now. Pace picked up, Kaizen satcheling right towards Rubble. And this time Godlike got afraid to contest A. Instead they push out C, so they're like, yeah, we know we can't hold this down, but at least we can take away some map control on the other hand. And Zay is holding a very passive angle. He was just hoping that somebody would walk in and he can get a freebie, but nope. True Rippers get the plant down regardless. And once again, they're in a site where they have won every single retake situation.
Oh, the flank though not expected. Are you? Did enough damage so that, Wimp gets Caramel. Just unfortunate over there. And Zay takes care of the ever so popular star in the site. Although Kaizen answers right back and then Techno has taken his position. And he has also taken the fragging job too. And Zay, you are struggling to take Techno down. But yeah, Kaizen says, I'll relieve you of your misery because I will just showstopper you out. And True Rippers, a dominant statement in the second half. A dominant victory in the second half leads to them closing out the series against Team Godlike 2-0 and secure themselves a spot into the playoffs.
True Rippers make it to the playoffs. Yes, they now have nothing to worry about. What a comeback in that second half.
Yes.
And Godlike can't believe the luck they've had. Like, they were able to read what True Rippers were doing, but still after having all that information, they are unable to act on it. True Rippers making a statement over here. At this point, every other team should do really well to just simply avoid Lotus against them. The ace site was their stronghold. They turn it into their fortress and they plant their flag deep enough over there that it flies high in the sky. Great stuff from Godlike as well. They put up a really nice fight. I mean, some of the rounds that they were able to win in the first half, I was super impressed. But we'll break down this game with more details, and we'll also have an interview from True Rippers on the other side of this break, so don't go anywhere.
Hit for my wins, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Hit multiple wins, I get it in. better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong.